Hello and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer, the Donnie and Marie of board game review shows.
I'm Marie!
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to take a look at a game called Captain Sonar, released domestically by Asmodee. In Captain Sonar from Matagot and Asmodee, up to 8 players take on the role of submarine crewmen in a vicious duel beneath the waves. Now, ideally, you're going to want to play with 8 players. You're going to have 2 teams of 4. As I say, each player will take on the role of a submarine crew member. You will have the captain, you'll have the first mate, the engineer, and the radio operator, and each of them will have some very important things to do in this game. First of all, you're going to separate the 2 teams with 2 giant kind of shields, player shields, that come with the game. They're heavy cardboard, and they fold out across 2 long tables. Next, each crew member is going to be given his own personal sheet. A captain's sheet, which is mostly a map. You have a first mate sheet, which contains weapon systems, sound detection systems, and a few other surprises. You have the engineer's sheet, which kind of monitors the damage that the submarine is taking. And then, of course, you have the radio operator, who has another map, but he also has a transparency to help him in his mission. Now, during the game, the captain is calling out directions: north, south, east, or west.
Okay, give me west. Okay.
West.
South.
Okay.
Mines are available.
South.
And he is essentially playing a game of Snake on his player sheet there. Essentially, he can't go across a line, he's gone. There's also islands in the water he can't go to, so he's got to kind of go and circle around the best he can, even as his submarine is searching for the enemy submarine. Now, whenever he calls north, south, east, or west, the first mate and the engineer must respond with OK, because what they are doing is also very important. Every time the captain yells out a direction, the first mate can charge one of the ship's systems, either, as I say, the weapons like mines or torpedoes, or detection systems like sonar or drones. The first mate can also charge a silent running system. Now, what this means to the captain is, as he's moving along, he can drop a mine in an adjacent space. It can't be a space he just came from, and it can't be a space he's going into, but in an adjacent space. Later in the game, he can call out detonating mine at and name the location. It's a grid, a number, and a letter. If he correctly mentions the direct hit, then the enemy submarine is going to take 2 damage. If it's adjacent to the mine, the enemy submarine will take 1 damage.
Mine detonating at H7.
No.
The same is true with torpedoes. The captain can launch a torpedo at any direction except from where he came from, and he can go ahead, launch that, call out the grid coordinates. And again, a direct hit causes the enemy 2 damage. An adjacent hit causes them 1 damage.
K9. Direct hit.
Oh,
Yes!
2 words, yeah?
No. Oh.
2 damage.
Now, a submarine can take only 4 damage before it is sunk. The first mate can also charge drones. Essentially, he can charge up the drones to find out which sector they're in, or help them find which sector they're in. You've got numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the main scenario map, and essentially you can try to narrow that down and find out roughly where they are within those sectors. He can also call out a sonar sweep, and the sonar essentially allows him to have the enemy captain call out a number and a letter, essentially a row and a column. One of those has to be true, one of those has to be false. Now, the first mate can also charge the running silent system. Now, when the captain calls for running silent, essentially the ship can move up to 4 spaces in any direction without calling aloud which direction they're moving in. Now, that's going to be very important as you're trying to evade the enemy submarine. Now, every time the captain yells out a direction, the engineer has to look at his damage sheet. Now, his damage sheet contains the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, or west, and what systems potentially are going to be damaged by that maneuver. The engineer is going to cross these out. Now, these different things he's crossing out are affecting those ship's systems: the weapon systems, the sonar systems, the silent running. And so the engineer is crossing them out, and they exist several of those colors: the red for weapons, green for sonar, yellow for silent, in the different spaces on the engineering sheet. When he crosses one of those out, that system no longer works. But there is some way they can self-correct. Some of the systems are connected by a circuit, and if you cross out all of the systems on a circuit, then that circuit is instantly healed, and you can go back. So by simply moving in some directions, you can regain some of your ship's systems. Also, too, the ship can take radiation damage. If the captain absolutely does not want to take systems damage, or the engineer's trying to help in a way, he can start crossing off radiation. But there's a danger there, because if you cross off too much radiation, the ship is going to take damage. Also, if you cross off all of the boxes, or rather all of the systems in a specific section of the submarine, you all take damage. Finally, you have the radio operator. Now, the radio operator's job is very important because he's the one who's going to try to locate the enemy submarine. Essentially, he is listening to the enemy captain call out his directions. When he listens to that, he writes on his transparency, north, west, south. He's writing that down, and then he's trying to line up his transparency on his map to get an idea of where they are. When sonars are dropped, drones are dropped, sonar sweeps occur, that kind of helps him narrow it down and pinpoint exactly where the enemy is. Now, this all sounds well and good. You each have your own little stations, you're trying to hunt each other. That sounds great. But did I mention that it's in real time? Your submarine and the enemy submarine are yelling these things out in real time. North, okay. South, okay. You're trying to maneuver and beat each other. But here's the thing. When you take too much damage, the only way to get rid of all of the damage is to surface. Now, when you surface, you're leaving yourself vulnerable because you have to let the enemy know what sector you're in. So as you surface, then you actually have a little submarine on the engineer's sheet. You've got to kind of draw a line around your section of the submarine and initial it. Every crew member has to do this. And then you show it to the enemy engineer, and he verifies that you did it correctly. Once that's verified, you get it back, you get a dive, you get a move again.
Yeah. All right, go. Dive!
Now, essentially, this is the game at its most abstract, but it's a way that it costs you time and it puts the pressure on so that you can dive and get out of there. Because time is really your currency in this game, and that abstract idea of drawing the circles and initialing your section of the submarine is really just a way to rob you of time and make you more vulnerable.
South, north, max.
South, okay, we need to surface really soon.
East.
East, okay.
Is that too north?
We don't have weapons.
Okay,
West.
all right, surface!
Okay.
Now, there are also different scenarios you can play, different maps, some different things. There's even a ship system that involves different scenarios. So there's a lot of different stuff going on here. But essentially, in a nutshell, that is how you play Captain Sonar. You're each taking on one of those roles. You're each doing your best to find the enemy submarine and blow it out of the water before it can blow you out of the water. The first ship to take 4 damage loses the game, and the remaining ship, however much damage it has, as long as it doesn't have 4, wins. Captain Sonar may be the most fun tabletop game I have ever played. Oh, you want me to tell you why? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this game is fantastic. This game is amazing. This is, wow! This is a good game. This is one of those games that makes you want to stand up and cheer as soon as you finish. Let's play it again, let's play it again, let's play it again, let's play it again. You just gotta keep playing it because it is so much fun. It's amazing. It's not terribly long. You can get a lot of games in. I think we did 4 games in about 2 hours. It is amazing, friends. I freaking love this game. I've already done my top 10 list for this year, so that's not going to change. Next year, this thing is going to be top 3? Maybe. We'll see. We'll getting ahead of ourselves. I got to play this one more. I got to play it a lot more because, friends, seriously, I love Captain Sonar. This game is just amazing, and I'm no exaggeration here, guys. I freaking love this game. Why? Why do I love it? Well, I'll tell you. Last March at SaltCon, some friends and I, George, Holly, Kevin was there. We played a game of. It was Artemis, the Star Trek simulator. We played that. They had the setup there. We're the crew of a spaceship. I mean, it was a lot of fun. Sean was there, Quinn, his son. We had a blast with that, being this crew on a spaceship. Now, we didn't really understand it, though. I mean, you get the basic idea. They run you through the systems, but there's always kind of that, I really don't get this game. I don't understand it. Now, with Captain Sonar, this game is easy to learn. It's easy to teach. And you're going up against a crew that is having just as many problems and is under just as much stress as you are. And it's brilliant. It is brilliant. There's a turn-based option for this game. I haven't played that because I think it'd suck. The real-time game, oh my gosh. This game is intense, and you are laughing, and you are sweating, and when you hit the enemy, there's just that thrill of victory, and when you know they found you, there is that agony of defeat. This game has it all. It's got hidden movement, it's got hidden information, it's got combat, it's got real problem solving and deduction, and oh my gosh, I love it. I love Captain Sonar. You know, I saw this game, I heard about this game, and I'm thinking, okay, it could be fun. I don't know, 8 players, that sounds like a lot of people to get together, but all right. Why did I wait? Why did I wait? This game is amazing. It's amazing. It's So, it's a game. Like all great games, tell stories. You're searching. You're trying to find. You're trying to find each other, and this narrative builds, and you get into the roles. You feel like you're the captain. You feel like you're the engineer. You really get into it. Now, I played all the roles of this game, and they each bring something really fun and unique. I sucked as the radio operator. I was a horrible radio operator. The time I played radio operator, I didn't track the enemy at all. I could not find them, and it wasn't the game's fault. It was old Cody, but it was still fun. It was still a lot of fun. It's hard. You got to listen. You got to pay attention. You got to kind of zone out everybody else. You can't listen to them. You got to listen to that enemy captain and listen to what they're doing and try to pinpoint it. It is great. The engineer. I mean, that's tough. I mean, you're like constantly saying, okay, what does the captain need? What does he need from me? Does he need weapons, or does he want to, drop a sonar sweep? What does he want to do, and how can I arrange that so that I can have it for him when he needs it, but at the same time is not going to cost us damage on the ship? It's brilliant. It is brilliant. The First Mate. Now, the First Mate arguably has the least to do, but I really enjoyed playing First Mate. I liked it because, first of all, you're the one that's you're working with the captain. What do you want charged? What do you want charged? And you got to keep on top of that. So there's not a lot of stress there, but you are keeping track of the damage. And also, too, critically, you're kind of a liaison between the engineer and the captain. You're kind of helping them work together. And you're doing some important things. I mean, Captain can't do it all. He's concentrating. He's working really close to the radar guy, and you're kind of his right-hand man. You literally are in this game. My favorite role, big surprise, is captain. I love playing the captain, and I'll tell you why I love playing the captain. Because the captain, he's focused on the big picture. He sees everything. Now, I mean, not literally up close like the engineer's seeing the engineering and the radio guy seeing the radio, First Mate, but he's got to keep it all in his head, and he's got to keep this idea of where are they, and what is my ship doing, and am I ready to attack it? And he's got to keep all of these things in line, whereas if you're the engineer, you can kind of focus on engineering and maybe a little bit of First Mate and vice versa. Radio guy, he's working pretty close to the captain, but he's kind of doing his own thing. But the captain has to keep track of it all, and it is brilliant. I love playing the captain. It's great. It's great. And there's just those moments when you hit the enemy and you just want to cheer. It's, friends, I don't know what else I can say. I freaking love this. The only caveat, the only thing that even approaches what I would call a problem with this game is I think you really do need 8 people to enjoy it. You want full crews. You can double up on sections. I haven't done that. It seems like it would lose something. You know, the game this reminds me maybe most of is XCOM. But in XCOM, of course, you're playing against the app, against the game, but you have your own little roles and everything. Here, you got your own roles, but you're playing against other players. I had a game earlier this year that came out I thought was a lock for Game of the Year. Thinking it's going to be Captain Sonar now. Thinking it's going to be Captain Sonar. Really love this game, guys. Don't know much more I can say about this. You're going to want to buy this one. If you think you can get 8 people together, at some point, you got to buy this one. If you can't buy it, go to a convention, find a game store, find people, just play it. It's brilliant. You'll love it. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and I didn't even tell you the best part. You get to name your submarines. First game, we were the SS Discovery Channel versus the SS Unterseeboot.
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
Oh, south! Tell me we got weapons. Tell me we got weapons.
Got weapons.
1, 2, 3. Detonate. Firing torpedo. Detonating at D6.